Okay, we're back out here at the lawnmower. I know you guys are probably getting tired of seeing lawnmower videos, but I've just got a couple of more things I want to do before I do all the cleanup and paint of the lawnmower. Let's get all the fabrication out of the way. So today I want to work on the exhaust. This is the original muffler that comes on the lawnmower, and it's just old, rusty, and just not very attractive. So we're going to take this off, and I'll show you what my plan is to build a new one. All right, look at the carbon buildup on those bolts. It's running a little bit rich with that carburetor on there. Okay, so there is the exhaust port and one crispy spider. I don't know if you can see that, but definitely very interesting. We'll get him cleaned away when we get this done. So what I plan on doing is making a flange that'll go here, much like I did when I built the intake flange. And I'll have a piece of pipe that comes off. Of course, it's going to have to be cut a little bit to be shorter and put the muffler where I need it. Then I'm going to have a muffler. Now this muffler attaches really nice right there. So it'll be on there something like that. And then I'll have this turnout here that, well, we'll pull this over here so it's easier to see. I'll have this turnout welded here, and we'll cut it like here so it has a nice opening. Probably make it a little bit shorter. It's gonna look cool. I like it. It's not necessary. I could easily just put the factory muffler back on it, but why? I mean, I've added the motorcycle carburetor, modified the fuel tank and the throttle on it. I just want to make it cool and make it fun. So here we go. Let's get at it. So here I'm going to get some measurements I need, figure out how far or how much I want to cut off. I want this to kind of like the radius piece to be right there. Wow, how am I going to figure that out? I think I want the radius to be right there, and that's about where it needs to be. It goes inside about 1/4 inch. So let's see here, how much do I have here? I'm cutting, so 2.5. I'm going to cut 2.5 inches off, and that will put it about where I want it. And for this piece, we just need to get it at the radius. So how much do I need? That's about 1 inch, right? Needs to be about it. Yep, that's about 1 inch. So here is the start of the radius. I'm going to cut 2 inches off. 2.5 and 2 inches off there, and then we'll have to measure here. We'll probably cut 2.5 off this side. Yeah, 2.5, and then at an angle. That'll be perfect. All right, let's get to the garage and do this. All right, before we get started here, we're just going to take a look at the parts one more time for this exhaust. I have an exhaust gasket. This is a Briggs and Stratton original piece. It's part number 6918881. It fits my lawnmower perfectly. Here's what it looks like out of the bag. It's a nice gasket. And I've got my 2 pieces of 3/4 inch electrical conduit. Worked good for my intake. It's going to work good for the exhaust. I also have the muffler I plan on using. This has a baffle inside, plus it has packing inside, much like a glass pack on a car. So I have to have a threaded adapter I mean, I could cut these threads off right here and weld straight to this, but I'll make it removable in case it roughs out and I have to replace it. So I've got a threaded 3/4 inch threaded piece here that goes on the conduit. It's a little bit loose, but I can fix that when I weld it all together. I also have a jam nut here on the end of the muffler. This just screws on. Now these, let me look at that. Now these threads are tapered like for pipe, but it works good for this. And if by chance it does get loose, there's no reason I can't just put a tack on it to hold it where I need it. Now that jam nut, when I hammer that jam nut down, should lock nice and tight on there. So I'm going to take, as I said earlier, I'm going to take a piece of this, cut it down to the right length, weld it in here like this, put a couple passes on it so it stays. Then I'm going to cut this at a diagonal so I have a nice exit on the exhaust. So let's get started on measuring this stuff out. Okay, so if you remember, the first piece we measured out there was going to be 2.5 inches in for where the piece will meet the engine. So we'll just measure the 2.5 inches right here, put a line and cut it with our handy saw. It's about right there. And the other one was 2 inches, if I remember right. It's 2 inches. It's right at that label. Can you believe that? Perfect. Let's go ahead and make those cuts. Perfect. Be better if I had my safety glasses on. Okay, now that I've got my safety glasses on, we're good to go. So, the next piece was cut at 2 inches. Perfect. I'm going to mark it M for muffler and E for engine, because I don't want to get those two confused. Now the other part, we're going to cut 2 inches off. This will be the end piece. We're going to cut 2 inches off of this one. You see how fine? Okay, now we cut the 2 inches off of this one. Perfect. Now, I just need to figure out the angle of that cut. If I take this and I put it in here like that, you know, I really think it could cut more than 2 inches. I'm going to cut another inch. After looking at it, I think it can cut more than 2 inches. I'm going to cut, well, another ½ inch off. Perfect. Now, let's see. I'm gonna try that. I think that looks good. That's gonna look really good. So now we have this piece like this. This will come on and this will be welded on like that. And it'll have a nice exit. A little side exit. That's gonna look really good. I wish I could put it up like this. Make it like a stack. Just as cool, you know. They're really cool. But it'll also look good laying down off the side of the lawnmower. Okay. Let's look at getting this stuff sanded and welded together. So now I've taken and traced the gasket onto my piece of 1/4 inch flat bar. And you can see that. I've traced the gasket. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes first. I'll drill those off camera. And then we're going to cut it out and clean it up on the belt sander. Okay, so I've cut the holes. The layout is made for the flange. I've cut the holes for the bolts. I've got a piece of the tube here. It fits in there nicely. I can stick it through the 1/4 inch I need, weld it up, be good to go. Now we're just going to cut the flange out Get as close to the line as possible and take it over to the belt sander and finish it up. Looks good. Now we'll just take it over to the belt sander and give it its shape. I'll do that again off camera. Let it cool it off. Yeah, but I like this. It worked out well. Let me just get my grinder out, give it a zap here and there. Just a little cleanup. Actually, it looks like I missed. Actually, it looks like I got a little bit of garbage right there. Clean it up with the grinder. All right. So here is the exhaust manifold. It's got a little bit of stick here that goes into the engine block itself with the flange. Got the weld all cleaned up, the flange cleaned up. This is the threaded adapter piece welded to it. And it goes on. We did cut an extra 1/2 inch off just to get it a little bit closer to the manifold and not so close to the rear wheel once it's all installed. All I did was kind of tack this piece on. It's not even that great of tacks, but it's just there. You know, if I don't like it, I can easily take it off and change it. I'm not quite dead set on this. There, try that. Just screws on like that. Run it down to the jam nut. Tighten her up. There we go. Now I'm gonna go put it on the lawnmower. Okay, we've got it all welded together. We've got the new gasket here. For right now, these are the original bolts. I'm just going to use those to mount it in there. I'll get some more 1/4-20s later, but for right now, these will work. Put that on there like that. Put that one in there. Tighten it down. Oh, I already see a problem. Let's see, we'll just give them a couple. Tighten up on the wrench. There we go. Beautiful job. I say so myself. Look at that. Wonder if we can get it to start. If it's got enough gas in it, get it started and hear what it sounds like. Get back to you. Okay, we've seen that it works. It works really well. I kind of do want to put more weld on that. You can see where the black exhaust is coming through right there at the weld, but that's all right. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. I need to come up with a hanger off of here to come and support it somehow, because it does kind of shake a little bit and I don't want it to crack anywhere or put stress on the block. So I'll come up with a hanger to come over here, give it some support. I mean, yeah, I really like the way this thing looks. It is cool, and I may actually leave these bolts. I'm just gonna clean them up because they make it easier to tighten up against the flange there. If I clean them up and paint them, polish them up, they'll look better. It goes quite well with the intake. Everything just works, you know. Amazing what you do with some conduit, some flat bar bolts and some ingenuity, I guess, some creative abilities. I'm not quite happy with the gas tank still. I need to change it up. It leans a little bit towards this way, so the gas doesn't always flow right. You know, the brackets are rusting. We're getting weatherized out here. Once I get it cleaned up and painted everywhere, I got a new spark plug to go in it, change the oil. I mean, it's just been a fun project. I know not everybody wants to see lawnmower builds, but I believe there is a following out there for small engines, and this is definitely a small engine. You know, you can see the cobwebs, or spiders are liking it at least. Well, thanks for watching, and see you next time.